Hello and welcome back to some good old-fashioned moronic entertainment. I am the O.M.G, and we are continuing more of Everlasting Summer. If you have not watched any of the previous episodes, there is a link in the description to a playlist, and if you haven't seen the last episode, there's a link in the description for the last episode. With that said, if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do. And if you enjoy this video, leave a like, watch to the very end. Helps out a lot. Let's continue! We are in the canteen with Slavia. Cute. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry. I wanted to show you the camp, but ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess. Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay. And what have you seen so far? I've seen the square, this canteen, and the football field. And what about the beach? Just from afar. You really should go there. Or, let's do it together. Yeah. Okay. We will. Her naturalness started to scare me. But then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be? And this world looks strange only to me, while for them it is normal. Maybe I was thrown into the past. Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find the way to Olga by yourself? Of course I can, but why should I go there? She'll settle you with someone. What for? Probably this question seemed stupid, because Slavia bursted into good-natured laughter. You need to sleep somewhere, right? That makes sense. Fine. I'll be off then. Good night. Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. A bundle of keys left in the door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. We're going to take the keys. We're going to take them. I'd better take them. I'll give them back tomorrow, because who knows what happens here at night. Such thoughts gave me chills. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, the songs of the night birds, and rustling trees from everywhere. A sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin appeared. I don't know why, but the sight of an unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much bigger than near the canteen, or brighter than near the canteen, and tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus summer camp girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in the direction. A girl, reading a book? Lena. I decided to move closer and talk. She was the only new person I had met here without exchanging even a few words. Hi, what are you reading? Lena was so surprised that she even jumped. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Never mind. She blushed and stared at the book again. So what are you reading? On the cover was written, Gone with the Wind. I'm going to keep silent. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think that such literature suits her very well. Lena didn't seem to be interested in continuing the conversation. Well, if I'm bothering you. No, she answered while still looking at the book. Can I sit beside you for a while? Why? And really, why? Maybe just because I was very, very tired and having company is better than being alone. And maybe I wanted to try to find something out from her. I carefully examined Lena. But now I doubt that. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to. Wait. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to? There we go. That's how you actually should phrase it. Here I go, being dumbass. Feel free. But if I'm bothering you... No. You're not. I can leave. Just say. Everything's alright. Okay, then. I sat on the end of the bench carefully. After such an intense talk, staying here was the last thing I wanted, but it wouldn't be nice to just stand up and leave. That didn't really go well, huh? Elena hasn't answered anything. It seems I made a fool out of myself. I bet if Uliana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. Do you enjoy being here? I recalled that Slavia's question and thought it would be a good start for a conversation. Yes. She smiled slightly. I guess I like it too. Lena definitely isn't very sociable and probably can't carry on a meaningless conversation as easily as Slavia. But there was nothing about her that attracted attention. Like a momentary glimpse of a reflection in the glass on a rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but it still felt so tempting. Lena was still reading the book without paying any attention to my presence, and I had no intention of asking her anything about this camp or this world in general. Beautiful night. Yes. I love how her answers are all just 1 to 2 words, like, no, sit, no, you're fine, nah. How in the world would you start a conversation with her? It's late. I have to go. Yes, it's quite late. Good night. Night. There was something strange about this girl. At first glance, she is a typical shy and modest pioneer girl, but the mystery of Lena took its own place in the massive list of mysteries about this camp which I had started to put together in my head. Ellipses. A lazy evening. There's nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed toward Olga's cabin. The light in the house was on. Hello, Simone. You're quite late. Yes. Yeah. I went for a walk to look around the camp. All right. You'll be sleeping here. She pointed her finger at one of the beds. Right here? I was a bit surprised. Yeah. Is something wrong? We are out of free cabins anyway. The camp leader smiled, but I'd rather think it was just out of politeness. You do want to be a decent pioneer, don't you? There was clearly a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yep, sure. I was lost in thought for a moment. Don't you mind it, mademoiselle? She looked at me oddly, with surprise and some offense in her eyes. A pioneer should respect their elders, Olga said strictly. Of course he should. No one argues with that. I blathered, not realizing what was wrong. Shouldn't you also? She stared at me. Under such a gaze, even mithril forged by the best dwarf masters from the deepest dungeons would melt. Should I what? What's up, Toots? What? What was that? Toots? Fucking... Annoyance and a lack of understanding made me raise my voice. You must address your elders appropriately. Yes, of course, there's a lot of strange things here, but this girl is just a couple years older than me. Or maybe even younger. But I decided not to argue while, just a few minutes ago, I would never have called her an adult. I have to admit that she was also given a strong character. And in any case, I wasn't in a position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumbled. That's much better. That is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time to sleep. Honestly speaking, I was going to become neither a decent nor an indecent pioneer. Just yesterday I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have choice now? Do I have choice now? Do I have choice now? If you don't want to, we'll have to make you. This is the motto Olga was probably going to use. Also, that fucking poster in the background, the fucking Blue Man looking poster in the background, dude, that fucking shit looks so weird. Does that fucking people remember the Blue Man Group? Dude, comment down below if the Blue Man Group actually, like, if they're still like a thing. God, those guys were so fucking weird looking. I climbed onto the bed and closed my eyes only to realize how tired I was after today. Something hammered in my head awfully, as if my brain had started a night shift. And they seemed to be aimed more at rolling steel than working on something more sensitive. The bus flew through my mind. And the square with the monument. The canteen full of pioneers. And the malicious face of Uliana. Slavia. Elena. And even recalling Alyssa didn't give me too much of a negative feeling. What if I'm here for good? Day 2. Oh my goodness. We're moving on. Wow, day 1 fucking was a long one. I was having a dream. It seemed like I was in some kind of vacuum, with nothing but nothing around me. Wait, what? It seemed like I was in a vacuum with some kind, or it seemed like I was in some kind of vacuum with nothing but nothing around me. Okay. But not only around, I was the only creature in the universe, as if the universe had returned to a state of singularity right before the Big Bang. God, this dude with the fucking philosophical type of fucking, like, language that he fucking uses. My God. And something was just about to happen. Suddenly I heard a voice. I could not make out the words, but it sounded familiar. The voice was whispering something gently, as if soothing me. And then I realized. It was the voice of that strange girl from the bus, the girl from the dream. But what is she trying to tell me? Who is she? I woke up with a fucking weird-ass fucking poster staring me in the fucking face, staring deep into my soul. Bright sunlight struck my eyes. It was almost noon. After stretching lazily on the bed and yawning, I started to recall the previous day. In a few seconds, all its events passed before my eyes. The bus, the camp, the local inhabitants. No, that's just wrong. Not this whole situation, not me being here. It was wrong by default. My attitude towards what was happening was wrong. Because yesterday I fell asleep here just like that, and before that I chatted nicely with the local pioneers, even managed to crack a few jokes. How could I act like that in such a situation? I should be frightened, startled by every little rustling, should avoid all contact with the potentially hostile creatures. The last day's events were getting hazy, like I had a hangover. This really feels like the morning after a heavy drinking party. Yesterday, natural, flawless, absolutely normal conduct becomes a nightmare in the morning, a grotesque illustration from the Divine Comedy. Yes, it's just like that, and I can't change the past now. So this man knows the Divine Comedy, but he does not know the fucking book Gone with the Wind. Okay. Then again, I had probably assessed the situation and was acting accordingly. I glanced around, trying to figure out whether I had been thrown somewhere else, but Olga's cabin looked the same as yesterday. Everything seemed to be in its place, except for a pioneer uniform, which was hanging from the bedhead. Okay, I was just making sure I didn't miss something. I fumbled with it in distrust and tried it on. At least this is better than walking around in winter clothes. Wish I could see myself, but I look like a clown. And for that, I need a mirror. I needed a mirror, at least a tiny one. I finally found one on the wardrobe door. Holy! I looked at the newfound pioneer and jumped away in surprise. There was some teenager on the other side of the mirror. He resembled me, but he wasn't me. Where did the week's stubble go? Where were the bags under my eyes? The slouch that deathly fatigue on my face. It seemed that I had not been thrown back in time or into a parallel reality, but instead had simply changed bodies with someone else. Right, that's real simple. Such things happen every day. I took a closer look at this stranger, and only then I realized that it was me. It just wasn't today's me. Maybe the one from between my school and university years. Well, at least that's something. There you go. The person in an extreme situation did fail to notice the elephant in the room after all. But the camp leader noticed it, and last night she told me off for addressing her without proper respect. Screw that. I doubt my appearance affects anything else. If the clock was not lying, breakfast was long over. Oh well, I'll try to find something in the canteen. It worked out well yesterday with Slavia, didn't it? Those memories made me smile involuntarily. The sun was shining brightly outside, a light breeze was blowing. Oh shit. I fucking dribbled on myself. Alright. A beautiful summer day. I had not felt so good in the morning for several years. Sorry. Actually, sorry. A problem. All problems were gone, vanished into clouds that were white as snow. Olga came out of nowhere. Good morning, Simone. Morning. I smiled, doing my best to show that no matter what, my morning was indeed good. You only arrived yesterday, so I decided not to wake you up, but breakfast, never mind. Here, take this. She handed me something wrapped in paper. Judging by the oily stains, there had to be sandwiches inside. Oh, thank you. Now go wash yourself. I was about to leave. Wait a second. Olga quickly ran into the house and came out to shove a small bag into my hands. Inside it, I found a toothbrush, soap, a small towel, and something else. I did not look too closely. A pioneer should always be clean and tidy. Let me do your neckerchief properly. This first time, yours is askew. You should do it yourself once you learn how to. Do we have to? I'm going to wash myself now. Yeah, right. Could get hooked on the tap and strangle me. Fine, later then. And don't forget about the lineup. Pencils, papers, drawing lines? You don't forget such things. What lineup? What do you mean, what lineup? She frowned. It's Monday today. Weird, by my approximation, it should have been Sunday. Then again, a shift in the day of the week is hardly the worst thing. Usually, we have lineups early in the morning before breakfast, but it's Monday today, so we are having it at 12 o'clock. Don't be late. All right, but where? At the square. Where else? There was no reason to argue. I headed to the bathing place. I knew I could forget about separate showers and toilets, but the sight of this malfunctioning symptom of decaying socialism, a funny turtle with a tin shell, paw taps, and ceramic belly, I felt sick. I was not a squeamish person, but nevertheless, standing there, I realized that there was still some minimal level of habitual comfort which I found troublesome to do without. It's often like that. When you lose things that you thought were ordinary and common, you suddenly understand just how essential they were. Ah, screw this! As if I have any choice. The water was ice cold. While washing my hand was not an issue, washing my face and my mouth became a big problem. There was no toothpaste in the bag which Olga gave me. I could brush my teeth without it, but there was a small round box wrapped in the towel. Tooth powder. Cute. 1 point for me being somewhere in the past. I washed myself quite quickly, also due to the ice-cold water. Someone was coming quickly, or more like running towards me. I turned around. It was Slavia, dressed in a tracksuit. This girl would probably look good in anything. Pioneer uniform, bikini, probably even a spacesuit. Hey there. Oh, hail. I mean, what's it? Good morning. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Real smooth. Alright, that was the first good joke that I've seen. That one got me. Why didn't you come for breakfast? I overslept. I said it as if I was proud about it. But Olga gave me some sandwiches. Oh, great then. Don't forget about the lineup. Yeah, sure. As if I could forget. Right, I gotta run. Enjoy yourself. She waved goodbye to me and disappeared around the past bend. Looks like it's a couple of minutes until the lineup. I should quickly pass by my home to drop off my washing bag and eat the sandwiches, and then head to the square. I swung open the door of the camp leader's cabin and rushed inside, as if jumping into the last car of a departing train. It didn't turn out to be the best idea because inside I found Olga, who was changing. I froze on the spot, trying not to breathe. Finally, the camp leader noticed me. Simone! I looked away immediately. Have you heard of knocking? Now get out! Yep, that was real clumsy. Although I did enjoy the sight. Olga followed me out in a minute. Here, take this. Now, it is your home too. She handed me a key. I put it in my pocket. Home? Of course, if you disregard how fantastical the current events were, this camp was far from being the worst place on earth. But to call it home, just after 1 day spent here, I doubt I'll ever be able to do so. All right, let's go. We're late. But what about the sandwiches? Just eat them on the way. We were passing along the lines of the pioneer cabins while I was tucking into the ham sandwiches, and Olga kept on talking and talking. She was buzzing like a game of operation with Parkinson's. But I cared about nothing but the food.
Understood?
Huh?
You weren't listening.
Sorry.
Today is the first day of your new life as a pioneer, and you should do your best so that it becomes a happy life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm serious. A pioneer has many duties, great responsibilities, and conferred upon him to participate in social work, to help his juniors to study and study and study again. We here are all like one big family, and you will become a part of it.
Yeah, a part of it. I'd even sign a party membership card if it could save me from listening to this nonsense.
I hope that after your term here is over, you'll keep the most pleasant memories about our camp. Memories that will last your whole life.
And when will this term end?
Why do you keep asking silly things?
It seems I won't get any information from her. A shame, really. This world appears to be so friendly, but never bothered to introduce itself to me. Perhaps now I can take things somewhat easier than yesterday. It seems like I have some unspoken ceasefire with it. It isn't trying to hurt me, but I'm forbidden from asking questions. Of course, the situation isn't a pleasant one, but what can I do about it? A bad place is better than a good dispute.
The most important thing for you now is to make the best of the time you will spend here.
I'll do my best. Honestly, I was very tired of this conversation. It would be good to know where that here is. But we came to the square. The pioneers were already lined up. What is somebody not here yet? What is somebody not here yet?
Nope. All here.
She looked around at her brave pioneer troops.
All right. Go stand somewhere.
Weird. Why did she tell me there are no more sleeping places? While the chief was running her mouth about our plans for the next week, I stared at the people. A few heads away from me stood Electronic, a little further Lena and Slavia, and at the end of the line was Uliana and Alyssa. Everyone I have met was here. Olga spoke about some competitions, and I turned my attention to the monument. Genda. I could not remember any revolutionary with a similar name. He had a weird posture, too, as if he was looking around with distrust, maybe contempt, or even disdain. Probably some local leader. Daydreaming again? Slavia brought me back to reality. Olga stood nearby.
Still, remember the plan for the week.
The plan? I'll never forget the plan.
Perfect.
She looked at Slavia.
Did you bring it?
Yes. Slavia handed me a piece of paper.
It's a checklist. Here are 4 tasks to check off. Do it all today. Before you start, sign up for a club. There are some clubs in the clubhouse and a music club in the separate building. Then visit the infirmary. And finally, visit the library. Got it?
Yes. The checklist seemed like a good chance to find out something, since I had to go to places I haven't been before.
Then, come on. Start right now.
What about lunch?
Don't worry. I'll bring you some more sandwiches. The checklist is more important.
Good luck. They departed too fast for me to ask anything else. Missed breakfast, now missed lunch too. This ain't good. Maybe I'll manage it in time somehow. Lunch starts at 1 p.m. Then again, if I'll go there, I might miss a place from the checklist. Okay, it's too early to go to the canteen anyway.
All right, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed another episode of Everlasting Summer. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and check out another video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for making it to the end. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.